front of the Pedal Express. Just a little about me. Graduated from Cheney High School. I'm currently at YSU for the graphic design program, and I do a lot of custom work, t-shirts. I just got the tattoo a few years ago, so that's a fun ride. And once again, thanks for having us out, and I'm an artist that will be putting Pete the Penguin on the front of the Pedal Express.
Yes, and that's us. So this project, super excited to introduce it to you guys. It is a pedal bike, a party bike. I was in Milwaukee. I travel a lot for work or whatever. I was in Milwaukee when I first saw my first party bike, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's a bunch of drunk people just pedaling down the road or whatever. But I thought about that concept when I was thinking about bringing a project here to Youngstown for this grant here, because there seems to be a little bit of a divide about Youngstown State University and Youngstown, the city. And we're Youngstown City School graduates, you know, and I don't know about them, but the second I graduated, I left and was out of here, and I was gone for like 15 years. So, and now I'm back, and I'm like, okay, let's make Youngstown great. Let's pull some things together. So that's where this idea came together. The project itself, you can see about between 8 and 10. And it's important for me to stress here for everyone, especially any of you that have like mechanical backgrounds. This is a conceptual design right now. So what you will see is the bare minimums and the mechanisms that are going to go into it. We can change this design as it grows. It'll go through several different design phases. I'm an engineer, so I'm an engineer designer, so I design in phases. It's a concept phase, it'll go in an arrangement phase, and then a detail phase. So keep that in mind with looking at the project, that there's room for it to grow. Because one of the things Michelle, and she popped up right away and I didn't think about it, is going uphill. Okay, so we're pedaling, and trying to pedal uphill is kind of difficult. So there was room to implement a smaller engine that might be able to bring it up a hill and kind of help with the pedalers. But my idea and concept is to kind of just run this thing from the admissions office downtown through like Commerce Street, Federal Street, Front Street, and just kind of start it out as a tour guide, if you will. So if there's students here that are wanting to tour this campus and want to know what's close by, or campus housing that's nearby, this could be a mode of transportation for them.
Does anybody remember the trolley? Do we still have the trolley downtown?
I know we
take
have
you
the
around
one in
it.
Mill Creek.
They don't do it in downtown anymore. I remember downtown was a trolley. It would pick you up in WRT and take you around the immediate area. We're almost looking for the same thing to bridge the gap between, because like she said, when people from out of state or out of the city attend YSU, they like YSU is a world by itself, and then there's the rest of the city. So what we're trying to accomplish with this is to bridge the gap between, so students will be familiar with, because there's tons of stuff to do downtown.
Yes.
Youngstown is definitely in a revitalization phase, so we want to bridge the gap for students to be able to find the activities downtown or the places they need to go. The Voinovich building is downtown. They might need to, get papers or anything, information from there. So
absolutely,
give them a small tour of, downtown.
And it's absolutely necessary to bridge the gap for students. One of the things that we talk about at school right now is retention. And if you are here on campus and there is nothing else going here for you, I'm on the National Society of Black Engineers, and there are tons of students from Cleveland that are saying there's nothing here. There's nothing to do. What are we going to do when we leave campus? I graduated from Ohio State. There was plenty for me to do on campus and right around the edge without me having to have a car or really go anywhere. So this kind of would give us the same type of bridge with your group of friends. And that is something that a lot of the students here have complained about to me when we were talking about, what do you do in Youngstown? You can't go to the movies after a certain point. Like I said, if you don't have a car, it's a long ride from here. So we really want to make sure that we can, one, retain students from YSU after they leave, give them an idea that there is something to do here, you don't have to go, but also retain students that live in the area and have them feel like they have a reason to not hop up and go to Ohio State or go to Cleveland State or Penn State even. So.
Yes, and so the idea of the maintenance of the vehicle once it is complete, done, and moving forward, is we can balance it between the city or Youngstown State University. We have already actually talked with, forgive me, I can never pronounce the name, I believe it's Porlock. He's the young man that is the welding professor over at Shopping Career Center. So we talked to them. They are very anxious. The students are super excited to see if they can get a part of the actual design phase of this. The chassis itself, obviously, you know, our mechanical experiences will kind of guide the students throughout that portion of it for safety, and it'll be good for them because they can learn and see something that they've actually worked on come to life. And I think that's very, very important, especially with something like welding and engineering, or the STEM students from the Ranelagh College we would also like to get involved with. And Michelle just mentioned earlier, we could even see if we could get some of the Youngstown State University students involved to kind of oversee it. Because to me, I mean, I learned a lot in classrooms, but I learned a lot. I did the bulk of my learning once I was actually in my field. So this is awesome to see it just come from paper to concept to real life. I think it'll be great for us. And if you guys don't have anything else to add, we're just going to go ahead and open up the floor for questions because it looks like you guys got a ton of them. So.
Curiously, as somebody who deals with liquor permitting a lot, have you actually looked into, you know, since this is alcohol-based, what permits would apply for this to be out with alcohol on it?
And that is an excellent question. Originally, especially during the concept phase, we are actually not producing this right now as an alcohol-based product.
Because I'll be honest with you, I sort of like it better as a non-alcohol based.
Okay.
With the students, right.
We want all students 18 and up to be able to hop on your
Right. So
Right.
the original idea for it is definitely not even to be in that. Now, there is room for it to grow in the future to try and promote it.
Right.
We have an alcohol license, and I believe within downtown there is something called a party district or something. You guys might be able to help me out with that. And there is a certain area of downtown Youngstown that you
Right.
can carry alcohol with you. So that could be something to look forward to in the future.
Right.
But I don't want YSU and alcohol affiliated and associated together for this project. It's just really not something we're looking into doing right now.
Right. It's interesting because initially you sort of presented this way as I'm reading your, you know, the description on the board here. But also, I guess, so my second question is, do you really see it as a tool that the university can use or the downtown can use to sort of bring people around the general area to give them a sense of what's going on here and stuff? You know, because you're looking at sort of a very limited seating capacity there. So do you see, you know, maybe possibly in the future more than one of these? Like
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
your prototype?
Oh yes, definitely. And it's funny because, you know, talking about this, we have the Youngstown Phantoms here from Covelli Centre, and it would be easy to customize the cake portion of it to any mascot. So we could use the Phantoms, we could do whatever. The sky's are pretty much the limit there. But yeah, we definitely see it as more. And also, just to add, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10 people that can seat on air as it is. There is a second phase to it where we would add a bench to the back of it, and that would be for the traffic watcher if we want to go into a busier part of town. And that edition of this is going to have the engine, and it would have to, because it may have to travel across like the Martin Street Bridge or something like that if we're going beyond the downtown area. So it's definitely, that has been a thought process in trying to grow the project so we can, you know, just kind of upphase it as it goes along. Go ahead.
Can you talk about the budget a little bit?
Sure.
Like how, I mean, because you do see these all over the place now in any tourist city, is it something you can buy? Thank you. Oh. Okay, is it something you can buy? You know, does someone manufacture this, or are you planning on doing it from the ground up yourself?
I mean, as a mechanical engineering designer, obviously I'm building from ground up because I can control what I do or don't do. I've seen them for sale, and you can, I mean, there's different companies that allow you to franchise theirs out. The lowest end that I saw was somewhere around $40,000, but that was in Cincinnati, obviously a bigger city. They got a little bit more going on, and they have incorporated a lot more changes. The traffic lights and not traffic lights, the signals, turn signals, and they got radios and, you know, just a bunch of things that I, for this project, had to dumb down a little bit. And again, as it goes into the phase 2 and phase 3, we could certainly add more to it if we can get some fundraising going. But right now, we're just dealing with the bare minimums, so we would have to build.
Part of building it from the ground up, though, is also inclusion. You know, you guys have watched the election. Most of you probably have. There's been a lot of talk about we want manufacturing jobs to return, this and that. But when we were at YSU, we're talking about how technology is what's going on, whether it's automation, whether it's STEM, And we've talked a lot about how we're having a hard time drawing in STEM students and getting them to stay here, especially lower income students in the area. So one of the reasons why we'd rather build instead of buying one is to include those people, to give them the opportunity to try and work on it, which is something you don't have unless somebody invites you, or you may not even realize that opportunity is going on here. So that's one of the reasons why we want to build it from the ground up, use as many resources as we can. Like there are businesses in the community that will let us have access to their commercial services. We have machinists that have graduated from Chauvin. We have all kinds of people that we can bring into the project that are willing to donate their time and assistance to the project.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, that's our time. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.